Core character defenses and recovery. We're doing a major balance pass to improve defenses and recovery for all characters. Improve? That's a interesting way of wording things. The goal here is to put more power into the core defenses, armor, evasion, and energy shield to make them the best way to mitigate the kind of damage they are best at preventing, while taking some of that power away from the one-off mechanics that provide a significant defense for too low of a cost. Fortify. While some individual mechanics have been nerfed, this is overall a massive buff to defenses across the board. Previously, there were some tanky characters, but they were gated behind specific niche mechanics and uniques that were not accessible to everyone. What we're doing here is moving a lot of that power to everyone else, so that core defenses are far more powerful than they were before. I hate how I'm getting told that they're far more powerful. This stuff only indicates that they're going to be far weaker. Okay, I am muting alerts. Thank you very much, Crytek. It's like, trust us, guys. It's buffed. It's way better. Well, they're going to be like nerf, 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 nerf. But we're telling you it's buffed, even though it's getting nerfed. Monka Giga. We're also making sure that every type of character has plenty of ways to mitigate a much more diverse set of damage types. For example, evasion mitigates attacks well, so we're introducing spell suppression to help evasion builds protect themselves against spells. Interesting, okay. They're gonna buff Reddit defenses. Yeah, just more HP. Oh my god, my build's so tanky now. I went from 7k HP to like 7.5, guys. Crazy. Overarching problem. Dodge and blind provide more mitigation for fewer passive points and item slots than any other defense type. Yes. Great, because this was going into it, we were discussing some of the changes earlier. This was my big thing. The block and dodge are just stupid. Something that prevents you entirely from taking any amount of damage to then losing your character or like dying is just not a good thing. Attack dodge does this in a form that is almost identical to evasion, but is far more efficient. Yeah, I mean, 5 passive points on the tree, bam, you're a god gamer. Overarching goal: remove dodge entirely and review certain powerful mechanics like blind. Oh, so you guys remember how earlier I said that would be good, but they're never gonna do that? Huh. They're actually doing it? What? And Fortify for non-melee characters. Okay. Improve almost every other scalable defense type significantly to make them more powerful. This includes armor, evasion, energy shield, recovery, and spell block. Problem: armor as a core stat doesn't provide sufficient defenses with low to medium investment. Armor characters instead rely on a number of other mechanics to provide them with a defense against physical mitigation, physical damage that armor is meant to provide. True. Solution: improve the armor formula so that armor is more powerful, providing better mitigation across the board, and increase the strength of modifiers on items that add base local armor. Okay, I really wonder how they're gonna go about this, because I thought the better way of dealing with this was what they did with Molten Shell and whatnot, but they have a better solution? Holy shit, okay. Previously, if you had 10,000 armor, you take a hit that dealt 2,000 physical damage, you'll reduce that hit by 20%. Now you'll reduce that hit by 33%. As a rule of thumb, with the new armor formula, is that if you want to get 50% mitigation against physical damage hit, you need 5 times the damage as armor, where previously it required 10 times the damage. Holy fuck. As an example, if you want to mitigate a 5,000 hit down to 2,500, you used to need 50,000 armor to do this. Now you only need 25,000 armor. So they gave like an uncapped imbalanced guard to everybody? That's fucking ridiculously strong. Increase the strength of modifiers and gear that add base local armor and added a smoother progression of tiers, as they were currently very low until the highest tier and had some levels where there were no new tiers for a large number of levels. This will on average result in items with higher armor on them, especially during the campaign and early maps. And high armor in the early campaign is already so strong. Like, you're practically invulnerable, and they're increasing it even past that? Much more affordable to reach decent armor values. I feel like that's already the case though. I don't know. Armor provided by base types can now be up to 10% higher as part of variable base type system detailed below. Determination has been buffed to provide both a flat bonus to armor as well as an existing more multiplier to armor. Grants up to 2050 armor at level 20. Holy shit. Plus it already it gets the 40% more or whatever it was giving. That's so much. New suffix modifiers have been added to all armor based body armor and shields that provide up to 8% additional physical damage reduction on each slot. What the fuck are they saying? What? Is this like Transcendence the League or something? Additional physical, it's a suffix that gives... Did I read that correctly? It's a suffix that gives 8% additional physical damage reduction, and it's for every slot? That's so insane. Additional physical damage reduction mods were discontinued from all other rare modifiers so that large values could be provided on the above 2 slots. I mean, those were prefixes anyway, so who gives a shit? It's the fact that it's a suffix makes it so crazy. New suffix modifiers have been added to all armor-based gloves, helmets, and boots that provide increased life regeneration rate. That's insane. This works as a multiplier for your life regeneration value. That's fucking stupid. I don't... What is happening? Review monster base armor as a result of changes to the armor formula. This may result in no changes if there have been no significant impacts on character damage. Dude, armor is not an interesting stat. Like, it's very efficient, it's very effective, even in the current game. Just not getting hit for any amount of damage is not good. I don't know. It's like leveling through the story with old Granite Flask, but now it's old content. I don't know. Okay, well, let's keep going. Let's see what else they have in store. I mean, that's it for the armor part. I'm surprised that they're doing this. I don't know. We'll see how it turns out, but I feel like this is too strong. I really liked what they did with Molten Shell. This stuff might end up being very boring, but I mean, it is in comparison to the other stuff, to the other forms of defense, so let's keep reading. Problem: Evasion doesn't provide sufficient defense. Okay, they're fucking high as fuck. Are you kidding? Evasive characters instead rely on acrobatics and phase acro Keystone to provide attack and spell mitigation. Okay, I'm assuming that this is in context of them literally removing dodge, is what they mean. Remove attack dodge entirely. Solution. Substantially buff evasion so that it is a good option and make sure it is easily available on items. Why? What is up with this, like, easily available on items? At least it's better to word that for evasion than it would be for armor. Improve the evasion formula to grant more chance to evade for all values of evasion rating. You have 75% chance to evade against a tier 16 monster. You currently need 49,000 evasion rating to achieve this. You will only need 24,200 evasion after this change. But then what happens with actual percent chance to evade? We get it. I mean, it's almost twice as good. It's like 35-40% better. Increase modifier on gear that add base local evasion rating and smooth the progression of tiers, as they were currently very low until the highest tier. This will on average result in items with higher evasion on them, especially during the campaign and early maps, and make it much more affordable to reach decent evasion values. Update crafted modifiers to similar values and make them available earlier in the campaign. This is so hard to put this into context with the dodge thing. Evasion provided by these types can now be up to 10% higher as part of variable base type system detailed below. The Grace skill gem now has you and nearby allies gain 20% more evasion, multiplicative, at gem level 1 up to 29%, as well as an existing flat bonus to evasion rating. I wonder what about Volgrace? Does that give you more as well? These changes make the aura very effective at attack mitigation if you've already invested in evasion rating. Man, and they're adding forms of mitigating stun too. Super strong. Reworked evasion passives. I wish they detailed this more, because like, how does chance to evade work now? Adjust the monster base evasion and minion accuracy to compensate for changes to the evasion formula. Okay, problem. Evasion provides no defense against spells. I mean, you could argue that it provides one of the best defenses considering dodge. But dodge is gone, so what now? Solution. Introduce spell suppression and evasion items as well as dexterity section of the passive skill tree, which gives you a chance to halve spell damage taken. The chance can be stacked up to 100%. Convert existing sources of dodge and spell dodge to spell suppression, or replace them with other bonuses. What? Spell suppression is designed as dexterity character's best answer to spells. In general, spell suppression gives easier access and more reliable spell damage mitigation for dexterity characters without reliance on specific uniques. It's also much more reliable than spell dodge, but has a lower maximum. I mean, I like reliable stuff. I don't like inconsistent defenses, but if this is just like armor but evasion for spells, I don't know. Will be a few specialized ways to invest in increasing the spell damage suppression to reward high investment if you want to further protect yourself from spell hits. Spell suppression will be found in various passive skills in the evasion area of the passive skill tree. The evasion wheel at the center of the passive skill tree no longer provides accuracy, but provides a combo of evasion and chance to suppress spells instead. Wow, really strong to be in that section. Trappers, hooray. New suffix modifiers have also been added to all evasion armors. They can roll modifiers that grant a chance to suppress spell damage. Chance to suppress spell damage, but that can be brought up to 100%. So odd. How difficult is it? Body armor and shields in particular can roll large values of these modifiers. New Keystone passive skill added to the center of the tree called Magebane. Dexterity provides no inherent bonus to evasion rating. Gain 1% chance to suppress spell damage per 15 dexterity. Okay. Man, there are so many intertwined things here. We need to keep reading. It's so hard to comment on this stuff because there's so many other things that fit into like character defenses. I mean, I do like the evasion solution a lot more than the armor solution so far. I can tell you that much. Additional chance to evade modifiers were discontinued from all rare modifiers, passives, and pantheon powers, as their value were generally too low or felt out of place, and so that Volgrace could provide a very large value of this stat. Wait, what did they do with Volgrace? Volgrace no longer has chance to dodge attack hits or spell hits. Instead, it has now 15% chance to evade attack hits, and suppressed spell damage dealt to you is unlucky. I mean, that's fucking really good for non-evasion characters, I feel like. But then again, you need the base suppression chance. But then you don't need to be evasion to have spell suppression. Change elusive to provide 15% chance to avoid damage from hits instead of its old dodge related stats. What? So it's literally dodge, but not. Except you get hit for no damage. So it's block, actually, is what it is. It's block. Isn't the point to remove this? Like, aren't you trying to get rid of this? Change Wind Dancer to further improve high evasion builds rather than reducing evade chance, but making it riskier if you're not evading attacks a lot. It now gives less attack damage taken if you've been hit by an attack recently, and more evasion rating and attack damage taken if you've been hit. So it's better for evasion characters that have a high evasion rating and bad for characters that are being hit a lot. There's no interaction with spells now to focus its interaction on evasion. What the fuck? That's not... Okay, let's keep... Again, there's too much context to all of this. A lot of this isn't making much sense to me right now. in terms of like what they're trying to accomplish for Path of Exile's future, but then what they're implementing here. Acrobatics has been redesigned and no longer has any of its old properties, but now changes any modifiers to spell suppression into spell dodge at 50% of its value. What is the fucking point then? The intention is that acrobatics is the only source in the entire game for spell dodge. For characters who would like to benefit from that playstyle still, spell dodge is still capped at 75%, and the Keystone passive will specifically mention this. This makes fucking no sense. Wasn't the point to get rid of this? Why would you... I guess it's just... I mean, I can't see how it's ever going to be better. Like how anybody's ever going to use acrobatics anymore. Delve? Yeah, I guess Delve, yeah. I mean, technically it's better for Wind Dancer as well. Phase acrobatics no longer exists at all. Many other small changes on top of these noted above to improve specific items, passives, and skills. Very interesting. I mean, shit. Armor was boring as fuck. At least Evasion's exciting as hell right now. I don't know. Problem. Due to armor and evasion not working effectively as primary defenses previously. This just isn't true. We've introduced a lot of mechanics over the years that either scale them too efficiently or scale off them too efficiently or not well enough. Okay, this is true. The intention would be that the straightforward way of getting armor and evasion on your items is the best way to maximize its efficiency. Review all mechanics that scale off armor evasion and all mechanics that grant large values or increases to armor or evasion and evasion. Well, Molten Show buff will now grant plus 50 at gem level 1, previously 25, up to 858. Buff no longer grants 29% more armor, now grants 35% of damage from hits is taken from the buff before your life or energy shield at gem level 1, previously 30, up to 40%, previously 35. Okay. Why? I don't understand. It was interesting. It was different. It was possibly maybe a little bit too strong, but then you nerfed it. But like, it was a button that we could click that would make us more defensive. Clicking buttons is always better than just like a passive not taking damage thing. I don't get it. I thought they liked clicking buttons. The Brass Dome, Unique is being redesigned. Like, I'm not saying these things are bad. I just don't understand their line of thinking yet. Unique is being redesigned to more properly embrace its identity of high armor body armor while not providing it as extreme of a difference compared to a rare body armor with top tier armor modifiers. Okay, so that sentence said nothing. Memory Vault no longer grants gain armor equal to your reserved mana. Instead, it now grants 1% increased armor per 50 reserved mana. That's so bad. Formless Flame and Formless Infernal now grants increased armor. Armor is increased by overcapped fire resistance, previously uncapped fire resistance. Wait, really? I thought this was already the case, and I fucking used this item like 7 times. Okay, I mean, it's still a super strong item, especially with these new systems. It's just 75% decreased of armor compared to before. Oh no, the Carapace, my beautiful. Now grants 250% increased armor, previously 350. It provided just a bit too much armor compared to rares. Yeah. Transcendence. Keystone passive skill now grants a large penalty to all maximum elemental resistance, previously minus 5%. Now, I feel like they could make it like 15 and it would still be really good. But I don't know. Officer of the Chase, Raider Notable, Ascendancy passive no longer grants 35% more chance to evade melee attacks during Onslaught, or 35% chance to evade projectile attacks during Onslaught. Instead, it now grants 10% more chance to evade attacks during Onslaught. Wow, that's a fucking big nerf. But I mean, it's fair. It's still really good. The Snowblind Grace and the Perfect Form now grant evasion rating is increased by overcapped cold res. Previously uncapped cold res. Okay, so the same as the other thing. Still really good. In general, I feel like Perfect Form is like an underrated item. Avatar of shit? No. Still good. Raider's still good. Problem. Characters who rely solely on armor are not protected against elemental damage. Unless they're a jug. Have more maximum elemental resistance to areas of the passive tree that have armor in them. Wait a minute. More access to maximum elemental resistance have been provided to armor areas on the passive skill tree in order to shore up the weakness of armor focused characters. More information on the passive skill tree changes will be coming later. Holy fuck. First problem, the veiled modifier that increases quality on equipment was required to maximize energy shield from an item. True. This is a problem because you cannot pick up the energy shield items off the ground. True. Stacking the energy from non-notable passive on the cluster on cluster jewels was too efficient as a way to maximize your energy shield. Uh-oh. They're aware. So it was too bad while being too good? Solution. Replace the veiled modifier and lower the power of energy shield of the energy from not notable. Compensate all characters for the loss of maximum energy shield by increasing the strength of all energy shield base types. Add more energy shield to the passive skill tree. Energy shield provided by base types can now be up to 20% higher as part of the variable base type system detailed below. The veiled crafted modifier that provided quality, strength, dexterity, intelligence no longer provides quality. This is to keep the top end at about the same while bringing lower investment energy shield up. Instead, it now grants up to 25% chance to avoid ignite, freeze, or shock depending on the attribute. Also, providing another way to allow characters to solve their ailment problems. What about 6-linking though? There better be more on energy shield, because this is like crazy poggers, and then we get to energy shield and it's like suck my dick. Energy shield from not cluster jewel notable passive skill now grants plus 60 to maximum energy shield, previously 100. It's still pretty good. Added new passives that grant energy shield to various locations in the tree that didn't have many energy shield passives. The various locations? I thought they're gonna like double down on the already existing locations. Problem with the desire to increase armor, evasion, and energy shield power across the board, we felt that the base values on items were too low. In addition, we feel that our item system needs more base types. Heterogeneity. What did they call me? Heterogeneity? The fucking who the what? Anyway, solution. Base types are now generated with a random 0 to 10% chance higher base defense as an inbuilt currently non-modifiable property. Ah, fuck. They've been playing too much D2. Are you kidding me? What? This means that all base types can be better than they currently are, and armor base types are not homogeneous anymore. Energy shield values on base types instead vary from 0 to 20%. Wait, am I reading this correctly? Are they going full D2? Problem. Energy shield is most often used with leech and regeneration like life, rather than embracing its unique recharge mechanic. Oh, this one I do like. Increase the base recovery rate of energy shield recharge. Again, rework the downside of Wicked Ward Keystone. More improvements to energy shield recharge to the core modifier pool for energy shield gear away from specialized item mechanics. I mean, we need more. This shit sucks. ES is fucking weird right now. Energy shield now recharges at a base amount of 33 per second. Previously 20%. Okay. Wicked Ward Keystone passive skill no longer grants 50% less energy shield regeneration rate or 50% less maximum total energy shield recovery per second from leech. Instead, it now grants 40% less energy shield recharge rate. This brings the Keystone rate with the Wicked Ward down to 19.8 per second, while before it would have been 20% with or without the Keystone. It also allows you to invest in other forms of energy shield recovery. It's kind of like an occultist buff, if you would like to, like including energy shield leech in your build. Recharge also has more avenues of scaling as mentioned below. The combined with the faster natural recharge is almost entirely a buff. Interesting. Let's keep reading. I mean, I do kind of like that change, honestly. New suffix modifiers have been added to all energy shield based body armors and shields that provide up to 66% faster start of energy shield recharge on each item slot. What the fuck? Am I reading this correctly? Am I fucking reading some Diablo 3 patch notes? Like, what is... New suffix modifier has been added to all energy shield based body armors and shields that provide up to 66 faster start of energy shield recharge on each item slot. Like, it's so crazy. Crafted and influenced faster start of energy shield recharge modifiers and ranks can no longer be obtained. Okay, so fuck you. Faster start of energy shield recharge has also been added to areas in the passive skill tree energy shield is found. How much though? How much? Crafted modifiers have also been added. And you can craft it. New suffix modifiers have been added to all energy shield based gloves, helmets, and boots that provide up to 38% increased energy shield recharge rate. Crafted modifiers have also been added. There is even more. Percent energy shield regeneration modifiers can no longer be obtained on energy shield based body armors and are no longer in the influence modifier pool. I mean, it's fine. It's like fucking 2%. Who gives a shit? The Ghost Reaver Keystone passive skill now prevents your energy shield from recharging. Oh shit! Previously 50% less. Oh god. Oh Jesus. Are they sick in the head? Didn't they say that they want to improve? Ghost Reaver? What? Increased maximum total energy shield recovery per second from each leech has been improved in the passive skill tree, so energy leech is now stronger with an investment. Crazy. I mean, it's kind of crazy. Super comfortable, sounds like. Not the leech part, the Wicked Word recovery stuff. I love those builds, I'm not gonna lie. I really miss the old like SRSers with turbo, a quick recovery. Trickster. I mean, Trickster's still gonna be really good with Leech. Yeah, recharge is fucking crazy with Wicked Word. It's so nuts. Still 20%, and you can ramp it up too, because you have it all over everywhere. Builds wanting to invest in both Evasion and Energy Shield rely heavily in Ghost Dance. Uh-oh, that's what you guys mean. Requiring them to be a Trickster, give everyone access to Ghost Dance as a Keystone passive. They pulled an Occultist on it. Trickster for free. I mean, that's how they fucked Occultist for the longest time. Let's see. But I mean, Occultist was kind of already on the out. That's kind of the same thing for Trickster though. Trickster's kind of on the out. The flask changes and everything. Give everyone access to Ghost Dance as a Keystone passive. Every 2 seconds, gain a Ghost Shroud up to maximum of 3. 2 seconds. When hit, lose a Ghost Shroud and recover energy shield equal to percentage of your evasion rating. Oh, they didn't say what percentage. Cannot recover energy shield to above evasion rating. Oh shit, there's a cap. We're still deciding on the specific value. This is going to be a hard one to decide on. Trickster's Ascendancy will be changed as it no longer grants Ghost Shroud. Problem, builds wanting to invest in both armor and energy shield have no mechanic that gives a synergy between the two. Yeah, they do. Aegis Aurora, boy. Let's go. Trickster's trash. Add a new Keystone passive skill and add more hybrid armor energy shield passives to the Templar section of the passive skill tree. And I felt like there was already a lot. New Keystone passive skill called Divine Shield. Percentage of total physical damage prevented from hits recently is regenerated as energy shield per second. Cannot recover energy shield to above armor. You're still deciding on a specific value? Holy fuck, my asshole open, dude. That does sound very cool. This is probably the coolest thing that we've seen so far. I hope the numbers actually like match the video game. That's a cool one. It's getting better and better because from the initial notes about ES, I was like, oh, so ES is dead compared to all the other stuff. But no, it actually looks very good. And it looks like everything else is bad and it's the hybrid build type. Problem, some areas of the passive skill tree, the shadow area in particular, have no defense against and very little life regeneration to overcome damage over time effects. Improve life regeneration modifiers on gear, and add a new keystone between the witch and shadow area on the passive skill tree to heavily dampen the initial impact of damage over time. Interesting, because they removed a bunch of it from the gear. So, I mean, they did specify that it's life, right? Life regeneration and not like anything else. Currently enhanced flat life regeneration modifiers and gear to be closer to 2 to 3% of an expected character's life at their level. What is an expected character's life? Fucking 3,000 at level 80? And then 4,000 at level 99? Like, who are we balancing this around? Percentage base life regeneration has been removed from non-unique equipment modifiers and the influence modifier pool. This is now reserved for uniques on the passive skill tree. New Keystone passive skill added to the shadow area called Leth Shade. Takes 75% less damage over time if you started taking damage over time in the past second. 100% more duration of ailments on you. Okay, interesting. Problem, a few specific mechanics grant a lot of life regeneration, especially with endurance chart stacking. Okay, there's like 2. But for many other sources, life regeneration is not very powerful. There's like Jug, and then there's the one node on the skill tree. Am I missing something? Solution, remove various sources of life regeneration and endurance charge or lower their values. Review effects that give life recovery rate and high values of life regeneration. Add new passives in the strength area of the tree that grant life regeneration on one of the sources, increased life regeneration rate. Wait, they killed my chieftain boy? Shadow attackers don't have a form of life recovery that they excel at. I mean, they have ED. Almost every other core character has a signature special recovery method. No, they don't. Wasn't this supposed to be rangers that they were talking about? Add a new passive skill cluster to the shadow area in the passive skill tree, allowing investment in the combination of life on hit, life on kill, and life leech. This also introduces a source of maximum total life recovery per second from life leech in the shadow area of the passive tree. Okay, I mean, I don't necessarily agree with this, but I do like shadow regeneration more because it's kind of fucking annoying to play it unless you're a sab. I don't know. I feel like hardcore players are going to be able to build like super omega characters now and make the game a lot easier for themselves, and then softcore players aren't going to give any fucks about any of this stuff. Block is pretty fundamental form of defense available to characters, seeing as it is available in shields, but the gladiator ascendancy is far more efficient for block investment compared to any other class because of gladiator's versatile combat tint. Notable skill that grants much spell luck as you have attack block. Give everyone access to a weaker form of versatile combatant as a keystone passive and replace the gladiator ascendancy skill. Also improve how much block chance and spell block chance you can get from other sources. They're making it better? Versatile combatant is now a keystone passive in the skill tree. Grants +2 chance to block spell damage for each 1% overcapped chance to block attack damage. Oh, okay, that's interesting. Also grants -25% to maximum chance to block attack damage and -25% to maximum chance to block spell damage. Ooh, that doesn't sound good at all. This means that if you have a 75% chance to block attack damage, allocating this keystone passive grants you a 50% chance to block attack damage as well as a 50% chance to block spell damage. But why? Why do they think that dodge is bad but block is good? I'm so confused. What is this, like their only solution to self-casting or something? Like, what is the... More access to spell block has been added between the Templar and Witch section of the passive skill tree. The suffix modifiers that grant attack block and spell block on shields have been improved, and now new tiers have been added. These now grant up to 16 attack block and 15% spell block. The gladiator block ascendancy passive skill will be reworked. We are experimenting with a new notable passive that makes the gladiator chance on block attack damage lucky. Okay, which helps offset the downside of versatile combatant. Cool. Jesus Christ. We're making further changes to passive skills and life granted by bone offering. Oh, what? So odd. I don't understand anything. I wish that at the start of this, instead of saying like what they said, they would have said like, this is the direction that we're trying to head into, and these are our solutions. Because they're introducing individual problems and individual solutions, but I can't seem to find any like coherent direction of any of this. I guess it's maybe to diversify defensively the different playstyles and how they feel, but a lot of this just feels like passive defense and that's it. The pool of modifiers available in shields includes some that have values that are too low or aren't relevant to shields. The power level of shield modifiers is in general is also too low. I feel like that's not the case for armor builds, but then other stuff, oh, maybe also hybrid ES evasion, those are pretty good, but only for trickster. So but now trickster is on the skill tree. Remove irrelevant modifiers from shields and add some really powerful ones. Modifiers such as block, projectile attack damage, chance to avoid stun, increased global physical damage, global elemental damage, global attack damage, flat mana gain on block, percentage life regeneration, and increased cast speed either felt out of place or generally did not have impactful values. Chance to avoid stun, I thought that was a good one, but everything else I pretty much agree with. These changes are meant to make shields feel more cohesive as a defensive piece of equipment, as well as to make their core modifiers more impactful. This will also make it easier to roll powerful shields and obtain shields with a specific modifier you're after. As mentioned above, modifiers such as block chance and spell block chance were significantly improved and new tiers were added. Block chance now goes to up to 16% at its highest tier, as spell block chance goes up to 15%. We've added a few impactful modifiers to specific shield types. Armor-based shields can now roll high value of reduced extra damage taken from critical strikes, the value going up to 60% at the highest tier. Wow, that's impactful, yeah. Like armor, where you take no damage from anything unless it's a crit, but then you fully mitigate crit damage, so it doesn't even fucking matter. And then you're immune to ailments, immune to curses. You can't be crit. And you're taking 0 physical damage from anything ever. It's like, bitch. What has the game become? Problem: as a defense, blind was equivalent to an incredibly high level of evasion with minimal character investment. It felt mandatory for all characters. For real. On hardcore. Solution: make blind synergize with evasion so that it's more powerful only if you have built a very evasive character. The power level of the new blind is significantly lower than before, but has more opportunities for further investment if you want to specialize in it. I mean, blind is pretty available. That was one of its big problems. It was way too strong too. Blind is ridiculous. Blinded now causes targets to have 20% less accuracy rating and evasion rating. This change makes it so blind is off no defensive help to characters who have no evasion, but helps if you do. Also has an offensive component, like if you want to lower the evasion rating of evasive monsters to make it easier to hit them. Oh, interesting. That's kind of cool. Blind effect is now available in the passive skill tree if you want to invest in this further. Sepultura, since the notable skill that is tied to blind, is being reviewed. Flesh and Stone is being changed as noted below. Because Flesh and Stone blinded nearby enemies, it was incredibly popular. The changes to blind have reduced its power. The changes to blind have reduced its power, so now characters may be missing a low-cost defensive reservation effect. Solution: reduce the cost of Flesh and Stone and change Tempest Shield so that it is similarly powerful defensive reservation effect alongside Arctic Armor and Flesh and Stone. The intent is that there are 3 competing defensive reservation effects that you are able to pick between or use together. Tempest Shield is insane now? Is it? How good is it? Flesh and Stone have been changed back to 25% reservation as a result of the change made to blind. Tempest Shield has been reworked to become a 25% reservation effect that provides a large amount of spell block, as well as an immunity to shock. It still has the property of shooting out lightning on block, and the damage has been significantly buffed. Oh fuck, I'm never gonna play my OOS build anymore. RIP. Problem, Fortify is intended as a defensive benefit. I wish that they listed this first, so we had context for all the other stuff. Fortify is intended as a defensive buff for being a melee character, but can often be obtained by spellcasters using melee weapon types that don't actually engage in melee combat. Change the Fortify mechanics so its effect is based on your melee damage. Oh, here we go. We're experimenting with a system that lets Fortify be applied based on melee damage dealt. The tiny little melee damage hits don't provide a full strength Fortify, or it bleeds. This will mean that we'll be able to introduce a chance to gain Fortify on hit on passive skills or items which we've avoided in the past, but we're working to avoid a system where every spellcaster wants to run shield charge to give Fortify at little cost. Oh, so they're gonna just like put chance to Fortify on melee passives, but then melee builds don't always use melee passives. There's a lot of melee builds that use projectiles but are melee. Our eventual goal here is that all melee characters keep Fortify up reliably without a huge cost, while spellcasters and rage characters won't have access to the mechanic without significant investment or being a champion. I don't know, they haven't said anything new. I mean, they've already told us that they're gonna do something with Fortify, and then the thing that they told us made no sense, and now they're telling us the same thing. And it's been like a month since the last time they told us this. So, oh, TLDR, I just don't know what they're trying to accomplish here. It seems like they're trying to tell people that defenses are better, guys. Everything's getting buffed. Trust us. It's so much better than they were before. Everybody's way tankier. But then, like, even from the very beginning, that's what I've said, and maybe you've had a skewed opinion, but just from the beginning, the way they're presenting this is like, listen, if you're not building defense, you're a fucko. Which the reality is they probably already wanted to tell that to players previously who are like, oh my god, my fucking 12 million DPS character only has 4k EHP. Oh, this game's so bad. I keep getting one shot off screen. Oh, it's not fair. Which, again, is pretty extreme. That's a pretty extreme example of a player. But there was a lot of feedback about defenses, and I can fully understand why some people in the past, and it's an extensive topic, but I can fully see how people felt like building defensive characters or just investing into defense didn't feel right, because that's Path of Exile. It's a game of multipliers, and when it comes to multipliers, you know, is it better to have a character that has 2 million arbitrary damage and 2 million arbitrary defense? Or is it better to have a character that has 1 million arbitrary defense but 12 million arbitrary damage instead? It's like, yeah, of course, it's just more efficient to do the fucking big damage. It's a multiplier. The same way you can multiplicatively scale your defenses, most people choose to multiplicatively scale their damage. And people tend to forget about that, and that's why building defense feels so wrong and building damage feels so right. Because if you have the option between the two, you go for damage.